Welcome to CompanyNet's monthly roundup of changes and new features coming up in Office 365, SharePoint and Kira. This month we've got some news about Microsoft's investment in data security and governance paying off, new ways to manage your channels in Teams, plus some great new components coming to SharePoint and Kira that will make your intranet sites look and work better than ever. If you'd like to find out more about any of these changes or any aspect of Office 365, get in touch with CompanyNet. Our expert team works with household names across the UK to help them get more out of their Microsoft digital workplaces. Our contact details are in the video description below. First up, some news about Microsoft's continued focus on data security. Microsoft has been named the leading platform for endpoint security in Gartner's latest Magic Quadrant, a well-regarded independent measure of success in the enterprise technology sector. Gartner's scores are calculated on the basis of completeness of vision and ability to execute, the combination of which puts Microsoft right at the top of the leaderboard. This reflects the company's investment in Office 365's Advanced Threat Protection, or ATP, which helps defend your data against increasingly sophisticated forms of attack through clever technology like threat analytics. In related news, Microsoft has just bought Blue Talon, a company specializing in data-centric security. The acquisition underlines their commitment to maintaining Office 365 and Azure's world-leading data security and governance features. As more services move to the cloud, organizations' data estates are becoming increasingly complex. That complexity means it's harder than ever to spot potential issues in data governance. Blue Talon's team has developed a software suite that helps identify those issues before they become a problem, promoting better data security. The Blue Talon technology will be brought into Azure, and its staff will join Microsoft's Azure Data Governance Group. With research, also by Gartner, finding that more than 50% of organizations cite data governance and data security as one of their biggest challenges, it's no surprise that Microsoft is investing heavily in this area. Now let's have a look at some of the changes coming to Office 365 this month. First up, a couple of new ways to manage channels in Microsoft Teams. Microsoft Teams now offers team owners more control over channel moderation, controlling who can post and who can respond. Owners can turn this on a channel-by-channel basis in the channel settings. Once the moderation setting is turned on, only moderators will be able to post new messages, and they'll be able to choose whether to let other people, non-moderators, reply. Sticking with Teams channels, Microsoft has also announced the availability of private channels. You can now set a channel within a team to private. Once you've done this, the channel can only be accessed by people the owner has selected from that team. Team owners will be able to see all the private channels within a team, whereas team members will only see the channels they've been added to. A lock icon next to the channel's name indicates that it's been made private. This feature will give team owners more control over what content can be seen by whom. That means that you won't need to create separate teams just for managers or other specialists. The rollout of all these Teams channel features should be complete by the end of September. Now let's take a look at what's new and updated in SharePoint and in our Kira intranet platform. Microsoft have announced a great new selection of web parts available to content authors, which are sure to make your intranet pages look and work even better. The components will be available immediately for use by users of our Kira intranet platform as soon as they hit your SharePoint tenant, in keeping with our commitment to closely aligning Kira with Office 365. First off, the button web part lets you place a clickable button on the page with some text on it. And a new call to action component works in quite the same way, but can have an image as its background and some explanatory text. While we haven't seen these in action yet, the call to action component in particular sounds very similar to the Kira Spot web part. Kira's Spot component also lets you use custom background colors to make things stand out against your theme, so it's unlikely that we will be retiring it just yet. Thirdly, a new world clock lets you show the time in other locations, and Microsoft are also updating the weather component to make it better fit the modern SharePoint experience, so it might be worth revisiting this if it's something you've looked at before. These web parts both give a sense of place and can be effectively deployed by organizations that work across multiple time zones or with offices in multiple locations. The Hero panel web part is also getting an update, with the ability to add a secondary call to action link on each title. That means you could, for example, create a panel which links to a particular page, and then have a secondary call to action link which takes the user, say, to a Yammer discussion. Microsoft have also given the SharePoint News component a facelift, and it now offers a Hero-style tiled layout. Our Kira intranet platform has its own news component, so if you use that, you'll be unaffected by this change. However, you could use the news component to brighten up some of your departmental subsites, for example. Finally, Microsoft has enhanced the highlighted content web part with the ability to customize queries. This lets more technically minded content creators build queries that use and or operators, reference custom properties, and use custom CAML and KQL code. Kira's built-in aggregator component already offers a far more powerful and flexible way to display highlighted content, but if you're not a Kira user or already use the highlighted content component elsewhere, this might be of interest. These new components started being rolled out in August, so you should expect to see them soon. Another new feature you'll find on SharePoint Online coming out this month is page footers on communication sites. Using the Change the Look menu, you can now edit footer settings such as whether or not to show it, adding a logo, name and navigation links. The footer will use a colour from your current SharePoint theme, so it should fit in nicely with your brand automatically. Footers can be a useful way of supporting your brand while also adding some lower priority links. They've been notable by their absence from SharePoint Online and are a feature that our customers often inquire about. In particular, those moving from older intranets with a footer may welcome this familiar option. Because the current version of Kira is built on communication sites, footers are now available across the board in Kira too. There are also some enhancements coming to the page editing experience in SharePoint. Undo and redo buttons on the toolbar will let you backtrack changes made while editing the page. You'll also be able to drag and drop files directly onto a page. This will automatically add them to the site's document library and embed them into the page using the File Viewer component. Anchor links are finally here too. These turn any text that uses the heading style into an element which you can link to directly. These will prove invaluable for longer pages, such as policies that have a number of subsections. Finally, vertical sections will give you more control over the layout of your page. This will offer content creators some great new layout options, such as having a coloured sidebar on a page or highlighting a single column. These editing features are being rolled out just now, so expect to see them in SharePoint Online soon. That's it for this month. As always, if you found this video useful, please subscribe to our channel. You can also get updates directly into your inbox by subscribing at company-net.com/roundup.